So we just showed you the video. If you're just tuning in now, we showed you how all the craziness is breaking down. But meanwhile, Boston Dynamic robots patrol the streets and areas of Canada. It's already went from Singapore and now it's in Canada.
Bro.
And people love it.
Oh my god.
Hello,
People
friend.
love it.
Oh my god.
I love you.
And so people love it. And that's what they're gonna be using to patrol more. They got these tiny robots. I was just watching some movie the other night where they had a bioweapon. It was crazy. And basically it was a technological bioweapon that basically really was coating people's body and their nerves and all types of stuff. But after it did that, you were dead. But in this report, they got some different ones out. And in the movie we was watching, I forgot what it was called, The Expanse or something like that on Amazon. Tiny magnetically controlled robots coax nerve cells to grow connections. Now, why are they pulling this out? But it's supposed to be additional treatments for nerve injury. So you're gonna have tiny magnetically controlled robots coaxing people's nerves, just like I said in this movie. Actually looks like it feed off of energy and you have to turn the light off in order to get rid of it. But on here, tiny magnetically controlled robots coax nerve cells to grow connections. So you'll have these tiny nanobots literally inside of your nerves that they want inside of your nerves. I'm not saying inside of yours, but some people that was going to take it. Nerve cells colored blue-green in this microscopic image grow along thin grooves of microscope or micro robot that scientists control with magnetic fields. So they control the robot with magnetic fields. So how in the heck would that be operated? I mean, I could read you more into it, but it's still just crazy all in itself. So it goes in, the tiny robots can operate as nerve cell connectors, bridging gaps between two distinct groups of cells. These microscopic patches may lead to more sophisticated ways to grow networks of nerve cells in the laboratory. And so they're basically growing nerve cells with robots, but then they want them attached to your nerve cells and then live off of you somehow. But we're gonna repair you, we're gonna repair you during the time of robots living in your body. So engineers Eugene Kim and Hongso Choi, both of the Daegu Institute Science and Technology in South Korea colleagues, first built rectangular robots that were 300 micrometers long, slender horizontal grooves about the width of nerve cells, tendrils that exchange messages with other cells lined up to the top. These microbots were fertile ground for rat nerve cells. These researchers found as the cells grew, their message-sending axons and message-receiving dendrite neatly follow the robot's line grooves. So again, you got these robots who basically just magnetically starts doing whatever it's told to do. And so you got to ask the question, like, what else will it do once people start taking it in their body? It will merge them with an AI system, merge them with a robot system, of course, because it has robots in their central networks processing inside of them. So moving on into the next report. Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation hearings start October 12th. So they've already chosen her to nominate. And of course, they said they would be in the streets because of this. Amy Coney Barrett Supreme Court confirmation hearings will begin Monday, October 12th. Senator Lindsey Graham said Saturday night. Graham announced the hearing scheduled for a mere 4 hours after her nomination was made public, and a lot of the communists said over their dead body, and they're going to be in the streets for the next coming weeks. And we've already seen a lot of that situation transpiring. I want to read some of the comments. So I have a lizard that has the same background as you. What? Praying, wow, not surprised. Looks like this could be used to repair nerve damage to allow people who have disabilities to walk again, feel, or move. Possibilities, yeah, they could use it for that operations. But in the end game of it, I believe it'll still link into something bigger. What about you? What do you think? All right, moving on in. Here's another report where they also are arresting people for about a year for just having parties now. And I'll show you that here in a second. Police arrest more than 100 people in Ocean City during unauthorized H2OI car rally. They arrest you during the car rallies. They arrest you during the parties. They don't care. So here's what's going on here. We're going to police arrest more than 100 people during an unauthorized motor rally in Ocean City this weekend. Videos filmed at the scene show angry encounters between officers and throngs of attendees. Officers from neighboring jurisdictions came to assist Ocean City Police with crowd control at the rally known by participants as HTOI. So they included Worcester County Sheriff, Maryland State Police, Wicomo County Sheriff, Queens and County Sheriff, Maryland Transportation Authority Police, and Maryland Natural Resources Police. So yeah, let's go ahead and show this. It says unauthorized car rally, and they started arresting people.
Be on the crosswalk. Come here. Yo, chill. What the? He didn't even do it. Yo, don't resist. Yo, don't resist. Don't resist. Yo, what the? Yo, look at this. Yo, what the? Yo, bro, this department. What's wrong with y'all? This is bullshit. What's wrong with y'all? Yo, you better get these back. Get back. What's wrong with y'all? Yo, what the?
They're popping up and starting to arrest some of those protesters too in different spots.
Yo, he was on the crosswalk. Yo, he was on the crosswalk. I got that on video, Ken. Yeah, I got that on video. Turn around for translating.
I guess he gets arrested too. Joseph Buck says, "I'm sorry, those officers are not doing it right, not even close. I used to ride in my big brother when I was in high school." But yeah, I mean, the whole operation though, what do you think about it? During the unauthorized H2OI rally, I know they've been popping up and arresting protesters out of nowhere as well, so I don't know if that guy was a part of that. But man 42 is jailed for 1 year after hosting 2 huge parties and breaking Maryland COVID-19 rule. There you go. Arrested for 1 year, reportedly. I wonder will he get a bail. And because I know Antifa and all the rest of them, they get bails and they get right out. Just like that Democratic lawmaker who was rioting, or not rioting, but caught with the people rioting. But I don't know if they were rioting, but they got arrested. They're out the next day, right back in the protesting. Sean Marshall Myers of Hughesville, Maryland, was sentenced to 1 year in jail and 3 years of unsupervised probation. Myers, 42, was convicted of 2 counts of failure to comply with an emergency order in March. Gov. Larry Hogan implemented a state emergency. And of course, that's his medical martial law. You stay inside or you go to jail for a year, basically. The governor, the mayor basically of, or the governor of Maryland says a state emergency and large gathering order that prohibited meetings with more than 50 people. Myers hosted 2 parties and surpassed 50 on March 22nd and 27th. So they've got him now. And it says a Maryland man was sentenced to 1 year in jail for throwing 2 large parties that violated the state's COVID-19 gatherings orders. Prosecutors said, yeah, they can go get those people, but they'll just let the Antifa people keep going out, even though they're now starting to get arrested a little bit more too. The problem is they get out of jail because the prosecutors, man who violated COVID-19 executive orders, sentenced to 1 year in jail. And so we're looking at the state attorney's office. Let's look at the website. And then you go down here. And they got all the information on it. And they show 6 months suspended, 1,000 fines suspended. Count 2, failure to comply with emergency order, guilty, 1 year in jail, 5,000 fine, 3 years unsupervised probation. All the information is there. So that's what they're doing now. And then you got in Texas, where I told you about the water supply. It says disaster declared in Texas City after 6-year-old boy dies from a brain-eating amoeba. We reported on like last week. Found in water supply. Now they've basically alerted people about the water, and you definitely need to be filtering that water. But that's just crazy. They got a brain-eating amoeba. Because remember, we already had flesh-eating bacteria along the coastlines for the longest. Now we got more of the brain-eating amoeba. They're starting to bring up those reports. Found in water supply in 8 locations across Texas, reports say. They say Lake Johnson, Freeport, Angleton, Brazoria, Richwood, Oyster Creek, this is Clute, Rosenberg. I think those are reported areas where it's supposed to be happening at. Residents of Lake Jackson, Texas have been told not to use the tap water. Brain-eating microbe Naegleria fowleri is feared to contaminate the supply. And it says Naegleria usually affects people when it enters through the nose. Contaminated water ingested through the mouth is less dangerous. How could that be? I mean, either way it enters you, if it just eats you alive, then you don't want it to enter you, period. Between 2009 and 18, there were 34 deaths from the microbe. Amoeba was suspected in the water supply after Josiah McIntyre 6 died on September 8th. Disaster has been declared in Texas City after brain-eating amoeba was found in a local water supply. Tested after a 6-year-old boy died. There's another emergency declaration for health because, all the years that everything was going on, nobody did declare emergencies. And it's sad that this kid died and the rest of the people died. We should learn from this and then clean out the water and then not get the tap water for sure. I don't know if they're drinking tap water because I think that's most likely what it could have been. It says officials believe amoeba either entered his body at a splash pad in the city or from a hose in the family home. Okay, so a splash pad in the city or a hose from the family home, which is the tap water supply. So just telling you that, definitely don't let the kids play in that tap water. Definitely don't let them drink the tap water. Why is it so important to have a filter? Because it cleans out the water supply, it cleans out the bacteria, it cleans out microbacteria if you got the one like I got. And again, you got to kill those amoebas before they can get in your body. And that's just how it goes. But the tap water is just not a source of water I ever even drink anymore. I don't even drink it. It's been years since I drank tap water. And then you got to filter the water that you filtered. So it's like double filtration going on. So that's one report. Now we're going to get into this other report where BLM, of course, is getting, they're descending on them and they're catching them and getting more arrests starting to come out. NYPD clash with BLM protesters standing among diners in Manhattan as Seattle descends into chaos and Portland erupts on the 4th night of Breonna Taylor unrest across the U.S. So yeah, they've been pushing more unrest because of this situation. You got the Supreme Court nominee situation they're going to be pushing more unrest from. So we're going to be quickly monitoring all of this situation, and then we're going to come out with more info throughout the